The one thing that a lot of people get wrong is they get just so excited about blockchain technology that they think it can apply to everything and anything. And that's just not the truth.
That has happened in my life when I turned my hands to time all the way back to the nights when I used to fuck around in my life. Looking back all alone in a broken home, shouldn't anybody trying to come around and help me through my darkest times. Trying to be the only.
At the end of the day, it can't just be a white paper and a philosophy. There has to be some sort of execution associated with it to prove that they can actually bring their dreams to reality.
Really hard, am I really this far gone? Reverse the damage that.
So supply chain and blockchain people have amazing future for me, and we can see a lot of value not only in the transparency, but the way that process can be optimized in the future. Here you go.
Right. I'm going to change a little bit the subject here. And because this podcast is mainly about leadership, and because all of you are amazing entrepreneurs, and I really want to ask each and every one of you, what is leadership when it comes to entrepreneurs? How do you see it, and how you develop it as a skill? Is it a skill? Is it a gift? Is it something that you learn or you have? And I just really want you to share your personal examples that you follow or that you yourself have done in the space as a leaders.
Is it me? No, always the pressure is on me.
Ladies first.
I think leadership is about keeping your promises until the end and be agile all the time. And when you put your mind on it, just don't have ideas, just execute your ideas. I think ideas worth nothing, and leadership means that you keep your ideas and execute them so you can see them manifesting around you. This is what leadership is, actually.
Yeah, that's a big question. I don't even consider myself as a leader of the crypto space, but what I think what is very important for a leader, it's the same what you do with your kids. You lead by example. You need to show by example. If I, as a parent, continually use my telephone 24 hours a day, my kids will do the same. So I think the huge problem we have in the world is that we don't show the right example. And so in leadership, I think we need to do this. As we do it with the kids, I will try to do it in cryptocurrency. I will show what you need to do. I can talk the talk, but you need to walk the walk. And you can talk about helping charity, or you go there and you really help charity. And then you show people that it's possible to live a different life. So I think the leader needs to have that quality of walking the walk instead of talking the talk.
Yeah, no, that was very well stated, Didi. But I will just comment on a slightly different part of the question. I do think that leaders are kind of born. Now, you can become a better leader with confidence and by trying to improve and by learning from other leaders. But I do believe that if a person, it's hard to make a leader out of a non-leader. There was a interesting book a while ago. I got it when I was working on Wall Street. We were given that book, and it was mostly focused on to perfect what you are already good at. And the book basically talked about, hey, if you're a great salesman and you created something and you're the best salesman of that product, you're better off just staying a salesman and don't become a manager of other salesmen. Just get better and perfect what you are good at instead of branching out. So not everyone has to be a leader. You could be amazing and you could be the most integral part of your company or of your movement without being that leader, but doing other things that are vital and critical to what your end goal is.
Interesting point, and it's really I really agree about this, because for me the leader, if you want to be a leader, you need to resist first and to give a hope to your people. Let's say, even if you're president of a country, it's even on the worst situations, you need to stay in front of everybody and say everything and give them some hope. If we go to the business wise, like one startup or one even or middle or big business or unicorn, they are like, it is crazy experience every day for the founding team, even for the people that are working in small startups. There's a big stress. If somebody thinks that everything is unicorns and roses, that's not true, and there's a lot of stress. There's a lot of things that can brings you down and kill you, you know. And to be a leader for me is to resist and to show the other people that even if the tsunami is coming, you know, like you will be there and you will do your best and you will start surfing the wave, you know, at the end. And for me, this is a leadership, and the leadership could be really on the every single day in the life, like Didi said and mentioned. If you only speak for charity, but you never go and give a piece of food to a hungry child, no, like you can lead by example. That's for me the most important thing.
Well, I think I have to agree with Tom that leadership is something you are born with. But for me, it's also that you're reachable for your employees, for example, that you can put yourself on the same level. If there is something wrong, you will never find out if you think you're above them, because they will simply not share this with you. But also with my clients, every single client, and there are a lot, they can reach me. They have my number. If they have a question about their product or a payment that didn't went good or something, they can reach me. Also, for example, in August, when the mining stopped, all mining companies in the world, they stopped their contracts. They cut the cost. Even if the people invested 3 months before a big sum, they stopped the contract. We had the same conditions in our contract, but we committed to all of our clients, we will not do that. When the Bitcoin goes up again, your contract will just continue. It's things like that, thinking out of the box, that makes you a reliable partner for clients, for future business partners.
I'll go in a little bit different direction here and speak more on entrepreneurship, which is something you asked about as well. And I think being an entrepreneur and starting your own company naturally forces you to be a leader. So if you're looking at entrepreneurship or leadership and analyzing, is it something for you? I think first and foremost, you need to be honest with yourself and understand what your goals are, what it takes to be successful. And a couple of those things is, you need to be courageous to make the hard decisions when everybody else is stopping, to find ways to be agile. When you're talking about the mining in particular, everyone else is shutting down, but you have the courage to think outside the box and the agility to find new ways to fulfill your promises and your commitments. Going back to what Didi, Tom, Stoyan, Elena, everybody else said is, you can't ask people to do something that you're not willing to do yourself. And Stoyan elaborated briefly on the endless hours and the endless commitment that it takes to be successful. And that's why I say be honest with yourself of what you really want. And if your goal is to be an entrepreneur and a leader, are you really willing to do what it takes in order to be successful? And there's a saying that was told to me by one of my mentors that if you want what other people don't have, you have to be willing to do the things that they're not willing to do. And that's where you really need to look yourself in the mirror and say, what am I willing to do? Am I willing to be courageous? Am I willing to stand on the front lines? Am I willing to be criticized? Am I willing to make the hard decisions? And if all of that is worth whatever you're trying to accomplish, then leadership and entrepreneurship is for you. If it's not worth that, then find a different direction, and it's probably not the right way to go.
Right. Well, in the last bull market, a lot of people lost a lot of money in crypto and basically went back and said, oh, sorry, the crypto is scam, and this industry won't last because everyone there is scam, which is totally wrong. And what I want to ask you, how do you recognize a good project in the crypto space? How do you recognize it before acquiring tokens or anything connected to it? I just want us to talk more about it. And if you have personal examples, with success stories as projects. It might be not the crypto projects, but the good projects. How do you recognize? And I will start again from my left side.
So when I first got into crypto and trading and making my first investments into the space, I looked for use cases that just made sense to me. I understood what the goal of the crypto company was that I was looking into, and made sure that it was solving a real life problem that I felt needed to be solved and warranted blockchain technology in order to solve. The one thing that a lot of people get wrong is they get just so excited about blockchain technology that they think it can apply to everything and anything. And that's just not the truth. Although it might be able to be twisted and tweaked into applying to something, it's not a natural fit. And it isn't warranted a lot of the time. So does the use case actually make sense? Who is the leadership team behind it? And how far along is the technology? At the end of the day, you know, it can't just be a white paper and a philosophy. There has to be some sort of execution associated with it to prove that they can actually bring their dreams to reality. So those are some of the things that I look at.
Well, if you're told about losing money in the hype, I know a lot of people that in 2017, they stepped in December, what was way too late, of course. And in January, or February, they said, I lost a fortune. My vision about that is different. If you bought 4 Bitcoins in December, you still had 4 Bitcoins in January. So what did you lose? Nothing. They will go up in value again. So
Don't sell.
yeah, just wait.
And if you believe in crypto, then it shouldn't be about dollars. It should be about Satoshis, right? And if Bitcoin's the future, you still have 4 Bitcoin and it doesn't matter. Regardless to know about it.
Exactly, and I really like when I speak with some people from the crypto communities, and they're like, some of them tell me that, don't tell me in dollars, please tell me in bitcoins. let's speak in bitcoins, there's already people that are just thinking on Bitcoin, not on US dollars or euros or other centralized things. And for me, like, my background actually. I started my first business when I was 18, and now I'm 32. And for me, the good projects in the crypto space are this. I have almost the same criteria about good projects in non-crypto space. Like every startup, every project that starts something to do in a crypto space is a startup. And first, and the most important thing for one startup is, of course, what problem it solves, and second, what is the team and people behind this, and when I do a due diligence of some project, or I'm just looking for more details, one of the first things that I want to understand more is what is the team behind the project, and of course what problems they solve, and then when we speak about crypto projects, what exactly is the use case of using crypto in this project, and how the crypto will help this industry that they approach and problems that they want to solve, how the crypto will exactly helps on that way. That's my opinion.
All right. So, well, the original question was, how do you separate the good projects from the rest? Because it's such a new, innovative industry, I just have so much skepticism about every project. As you guys know, those of you that started a business, 90+% of all businesses fail. And when it comes to the crypto space, I think the statistic is significantly worse, because 90% of businesses of what you know fail. So what do you think is happening to businesses that are entering a brand new frontier that most people just don't even understand? And that's that whole concept of, do you need a blockchain for a lot of these things? And in my view, that you don't need a blockchain for a lot of these things. I think the statistics in the crypto space are not working very well for successful businesses. What has been helping a lot of these businesses, creating this illusion of success, is this ability to fund your business through speculative means of tokenization. And we will see how that ends. And I'm, again, very, very skeptical on that space. What continues to fascinate me is everything revolving around Bitcoin, since I pretty much learned about it. What's happening in mining, the innovation in mining, what's happening with chip manufacturing, potential new applications and exchanges, and the whole idea of now we have politically neutral money. All of that continues to excite me. The businesses that claim they will use a blockchain, but I don't believe that they need a blockchain, I remain very skeptical, and I will stick to the traditional model of I do not have the ability to pick winners and losers in the startup space. I will wait for them to prove themselves when they go public and enter the S&P 500. And I'm happy to enter a large index of companies that have proven themselves and have a revenue and have clients and have profits. And before companies do that, I will leave it up to the qualified and professional investors to invest in those companies. Though I am disappointed how everyone feels that because they are capable of using the internet and Reddit and Facebook, they are somehow now qualified investors in technology they barely understand. And I hope this resolves itself without too much pain on the back end.
Yeah, I'm probably not the best to ask, man. I was like in a few projects that were like not even reached like the currency. Like sometimes you just don't know. You know, you take a risk, and you always take that risk with the money you can afford to lose. And if people would have done that, then they wouldn't have been crying all the time. You know, I think it's very difficult to see which project is good and which one is. But just what Toon said, you just follow the project. You do your own research. You check if it's worthwhile to invest €250, for example. You know, I saw one project last year or 2 years ago was Envian. Man, it was the biggest surprise for me that they were a scam. They had a promotional video of those containers, mining rig containers. They flew them to the solar panel, fields in France. They put the container there and they started mining with the solar energy. It was like slick as hell. It was beautiful. I put in €250. I think, okay, that I can afford to lose. And at the end, they walked away, I think, with 40 million euro or something. But it was the most professional advertisement company I have ever seen.
You know? I told from day one to Stoyan or Didi that it was a scam. And do you know why?
No.
Because I said if you put your box in the middle of
Wait. There you go.
So from day one, I had the feeling it was a scam because the project, like you said, it was very nice. But as a miner, I had only one question. If you drop your equipment in the middle of nowhere without security, then it should be a scam.
Yeah, but they had the total camera system.
Yes.
They had everything on it. It was like, yeah, it looked like the $1 billion company, like, you know, a promotion campaign. And that's what people need to, you know, don't judge in first sight. It's the same with people. Don't judge people on the first sight. And get to know them, and that counts the same for everything in life, and even for cryptocurrency. It can be very beautiful on the outside, but, you know, do your research. How is it in the inside? That's why I think I live this life. I'm here now in Sofia. I visit your company, which a lot of people could call a scam. I'm here. I saw how many miners you have running. I saw how much you invested in this building. I saw what your plans are. That's how you do research. And then you know for the future, okay, this could be a successful company. Yeah. Elena.
True. Do not judge the book by its cover, right?
Exactly.
Well, I totally agree with you, Didi. I think it's very difficult to say what a success actually is because it depends on the perspective. Is this project good because it was the investment? Is it good because the people inside have the expertise, or is just the branding that is very cool in the end? It needs to be a mixture, I think, in the end. And yet, time and the market will tell. Market will actually tell what's going to happen in the end. So, yeah.
All right. Yeah, Elena set the tone right here. I want to ask you what's next. What's in the future, and what do you think the market will say at the end? So each and every one of you may have a little bit time to think about it, but for me, the future is ecosystem exchanging value in a decentralized way, and generating value and having all tools necessary to measure the value that you are creating on your own terms. I mean, on everyone's accepted terms, which is a total decentralization with clear rules, of course, blockchain based. But please, everyone, share what's your vision for the future.
It's actually very difficult to trend forecast here and share visions for the future. A friend of mine told me once that in the future it has already been done, right, Didi? So to be honest, we can just wait and see. It's very hard to predict, right? If we were able to predict now, we shouldn't be staying here but executing outside, right? So let's just see. Let's get it together in 1 year time and see what has happened.
Are executing.
Oh, we are.
building
We are.
it now.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. I find this always a difficult question because I live day by day. I don't even know. Yeah, I know what time I fly home tomorrow, but what I will be doing tomorrow. But if you're talking about the future of Bitcoin, I think Bitcoin has the ability to really change the world. I think this is one of the last chances in our life that we are able to create a revolution of the monetary system in a way that we keep control on our own finances. And I'm very confident that we are going to do this with Bitcoin, and I'm very confident that beautiful projects will come out of this, and I'm very confident that probably 30% of the people worldwide in the future will be digital Bitcoin nomads that living a decentralized life using the share economy. Yeah, that's what I think about the future. That's why I prepare my kids for the future and not for the past. But again, people just enjoy every day, and yeah, we'll see what the future brings us. Elena. The future has been made.
Indeed.
So I remain a big advocate that Bitcoin will change the future, and that's why I try to accumulate as much Bitcoin as I can. It does fluctuate in value. I try to time those fluctuations as best I can with my trading experience, but to me, it's all about Bitcoin, and because I can't predict what any of the other projects are going to do, I will stick with the one that I am very confident in, and that's Bitcoin appreciating in value and continuing to be a huge revolutionary tool in the world of money and value transfer. Is something that the world has never seen. I believe that will be the biggest, Bitcoin will remain the biggest innovation of this century for a while, in my opinion. Maybe in 20, 30 years, another Satoshi will come up with something else innovative that may have nothing to do with money, but that's what I believe will be changed in the future.
I think that the future is already here, but now it's on the small crypto worldwide community. And once everybody start adopting the crypto, like imagine yesterday with Tom, he needed 100 leva cash, and we say, okay, I will send you the Bitcoin, and I'm giving you the 100 leva cash. You know, like this is the future. I think that this kind of, I'm sure that I'm receiving the value that I'm.
Oh, not yet. You kind of got scammed. I haven't sent it yet.
Fuck! I remember that.
You sure you remember?
I just remember. Yeah, and actually, yeah, and I mean that this easy transfer of value for everything, like the future is already here, and just imagine when a billion people start transferring value and deal to each other on that way. Like I think that this is the near future. And it depends on us how fast this future will come. Because when you speak with somebody on the street or somebody on the shop, or when you have a chance to do a conversation with some people that are totally not in crypto, I'm trying to explain them in simple words. as much as I can what the crypto is and what are the benefits, and depends on us how fast this future will become present. That's my opinion.
I would have thought you would answer in the future. I know one thing for sure: events will become better.
Yeah. Thank you, bro. I was saying one Bitcoin for that.
Yeah, I agree also with Stoyan. I think the future is here around the table. I see this every evening in my webinars. A client that brings, for example, a 73-year-old person to a webinar that knows nothing about Bitcoin or mining or blockchain, and after the webinar he will know what it is. So I think the future is here on the table. People like us educating other people what is Bitcoin, what is blockchain, what is crypto, and then mass adoption will come.
So like everybody, you can imagine, I'm very bullish on Bitcoin, or we wouldn't be sitting here, I don't think. But I feel the world needs Bitcoin for a couple of reasons. I think social media and the internet were catalysts for increased consciousness of the human population, because it allowed us to share information more freely without any sort of control from the government. So what this allowed is this consciousness, this increased consciousness allowed for people to become more aware of what's actually happening with the world banking systems, what's happening in countries like Greece and Venezuela, where we see currencies completely collapse. And with that increased consciousness gives us the opportunity to create change. The second part of why I feel it's so important is we're really internet generations at this point, and the internet transcends borders. We're not restricted like we have been in the past with these geographical imaginary lines that this border means X and this border means Y, and when you cross over something needs to change. We transact on the internet across these borders very quickly, very freely, very openly, and this is the best thing for the future of the world because it increased opportunity, it increased the opportunity for capitalism, things of this nature. So by allowing a currency that can cross those borders as freely as an internet connection can, is necessary for commerce and this worldwide exchanging of value and goods to take place. And so that's another reason I think Bitcoin is required.
Right. What I want to say more about the future is when our team was in Thailand, I saw the future. I saw many free people working on whatever they want to, happily, and from wherever they want to. So they were in the best place of the world, and they were contributing value to the society from distance. And this is the future. People running all around the world, being happy with doing what they really want to do in life. Thank you very much to everyone to being on the podcast. It was a great experience, and I believe we added a lot of value to the society with this one.
Thank you.
Let's.
Thank you. Thank you.
See ya.